I wanted this to be an area of an introduction. I've created these 5 tools, not like I've created them, I've compiled them together to present them to you in this short little video. And in the process of this, I discovered more things about myself, more things about true success and massive success, and the tools that really have shaped where I want to go and what I achieve along the way. Always coming to the surface of these 5 principles or fundamentals, but these massive tools. Considering others first, it can't be said enough. Do unto others and you'd have them do unto you. I mean, really, that's the gem of it all. Deciding what you want. Many times we get caught up in the routines of life, or the day-to-day grind, so to speak, and we don't sit back and consider what it is we really want. We might know what we want for the day or that 10 minutes, but yet farther down the road, part of success is knowing where you want to go. When you consider your past, you can take control of the forces that have been preventing you from going where you want to go. And when you confront the idea of not having enough education in an area, it allows you the opportunity to find somebody who does, leading you into finding a mentor, somebody who is successful in that area, who has achieved it, who has devoted more time to that profession, who can help you along the way. Whatever your definition of success is, I'm sure it has one thing in common. It's a positive progression towards achieving something, towards attaining something, towards a benefit on some level. And the best benefits in life come to those who wait. The idea of considering others is something that is often overlooked. We hear it from our youth. We say, you do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. Treat people how you'd want to be treated. But how many times do we actually stop and say, you know what? What's invested in this, or what could be contributed to this that would really benefit somebody else? In my own life, when I've thought about success, I've had many personal goals to really aspire to. Some that I started where it was very low. Others were just through the roof. Didn't see how it was possible, but I figured, hey, it's a goal, I want to set it. But in looking back, considering this first principle, this first tool, this main priority in life for great success, there's a consequence for every action. So our involvement into something, our pursuit of something, there's consequences that will affect other people. If we take the opportunity in the moment to sit back and to consider the others first, and it might be looking in your life and seeing things you don't even, or that you have that you're not even using anymore, or things that just the need of somebody else. Being receptive to other people when you're around them. I once heard the analogy that life is spent in a series of little rooms, and the only thing that matters is what you do in that room and who you're with. If that is true, then everything we do in this journey towards success and massive success should be in reflection to the contribution we have to the lives of everyone else. The idea of getting clear on what you want, many times if I ask somebody, hey, what do you want here? If you could have anything in life that you'd want, or if you had $1 million, what would you do with it? The funny thing is, most people have to stop and think. They aren't really clear on the idea of what it is they would spend the money on. Some people say, oh, I know, I want to do this, I want to do that. Oh, I never want to do that, but I want all of these. But then other people really don't know. The reality is, if you're clear, the clearer you become in that, the faster you are to achieving whatever that is you're after. If the idea to go on a trip, if you didn't set a destination, if you weren't clear on the way you were going to get there, if you weren't clear on how long you were going to be there, or how long it would take you, or the things that are involved that you need to get there, you really would have no trip at all. You'd have this idea of some destination, or this idea called a trip, but it's not to anywhere specific. The more emphasis on clarity, the better. The clearer you become, the simpler it becomes. Another valuable tool is looking to your past for huge lessons that you can learn. The interesting thing is it's very personal. It's individual, meaning that for you it is you, and for me it is me. And those lessons for me, I will only learn them if I choose to look. Somebody else can come up and say, hey, you made a mistake because over here you dropped the ball. Until I choose to look back, or until that person chooses to look back, there will not be this connection between that decision and why they're in the state that they're in. There's an old saying that says the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. I've often heard people say, oh, well, the problem is when you get there, you'll take yourself with you. that statement directly suggests that your past deserves attention, time to consider. Look back over your life. What would happen if you look back over your life and try to pinpoint all the failures in life that you had, all the hurt feelings or all the frustrations or all the irritations that seem to arise out of your life or your childhood? Even look to a childhood where your parents seem to be overbearing or even abusive, using that as a valuable tool of something to learn from. You know, you can use people as warnings or examples. You could even use yourself as a warning or an example. So it's important to build on past successes, you know, learn to enhance them, take a skill that you have that you're proud of, and mature it, enhance it, produce it. They say that you learn things more if you're working on teaching it to somebody. If you understand something, you should be able to explain it in multiple ways. The more ways you can explain it, the better your understanding is of that one thing. So in the reflection here, these audio tracks and these different keys, the main value I want to provide for your life is that you have the opportunity every moment you're breathing, every day you're alive and consciously thinking, that you could set aside the time and mentally rehearse some of those old memories. Many times you might find that if you dare to go into those hurtful memories, those stings in life, and see something in there that you didn't see before, you will find a well of knowledge that lying dormant. Things that can lead you in new directions. And if nothing else, if you've provided a life for yourself that's in a hole, you might want to stop digging. You know, I provide these in random orders, but ultimately we're dealing with the same topic here. Looking to your past. You could start with your most present and slightly turn around. What's not right? I often see how people look at a path on the street and say, oh, that's not good. Oh, he should have looked where he was going. And they see an accident. They see something that was clearly a mistake on somebody's part, but yet the person who may have caused it may be oblivious as to why it in fact happened. If he didn't get affected directly, he might still going on through life not realizing that his oversights or carelessness may be causing problems that are unaware to himself, that he's unaware to rather. So the biggest tool, if you could take it out of all these, is being cautious to consider the opportunity that's not only in front of you, but also behind you. If we dig ourselves in holes so deep we can't get out, we better stop digging, because it's not going to go anywhere new except down. The price of no education can be measured different ways. It can be measured in money. It can be measured in time. It can be measured in burnt bridges. The biggest gem out of this to take is that you want to discover what your ignorance is. Ignorance just means you're unlearned in something. You don't know. I've often heard people say, oh, that's a stupid question. No, the stupid question is one you won't ask. Why on earth would you allow the idea that you have a question and it's stupid to ask it prevent you from having that information that could in fact save you time in the future? And once you learn that information, you can then pass that on to other people who may be struggling in an area. To you, you might perceive it to be stupid right away, but there's chances that somebody else, to them, it is of value. Also, it's important to just be simply real with life. If you come up to the dilemma and say, I don't have this skill, or I don't have this education, it might be time to assess how long it could take to develop it. How long it might take you to master a skill. But let me stop right there. Just because you don't have the education in an area, we'll refer to that as the resource, doesn't in fact mean you can't find somebody who does. So in finding a mentor, people, for some reason, are kind of put off by this, or are scared by this, or just, if nothing else, feel intimidated with this daunting task of finding people who have been successful. And how do you know who has? And all these questions arise. You already learned this way. You've learned this way ever since you started to walk. You learned to walk based on somebody who was already successful in walking. And they took you and walked you through the steps. I mean, it doesn't get much simpler than that. You already know how to do this. Find somebody who's successful. Find somebody who's achieved it. Find somebody who is doing this in their day-to-day life, not necessarily in the past. They may have dated information. I realize that. But if you keep looking and you determine, you create a definition for what you want, and you keep looking for people who have achieved that and tweaking it as you get more refined, getting clearer in it, you'll start to notice all kinds of ways to find these people. It becomes kind of obvious. And if you don't know where to start, ask your friends and family. Everyone knows of somebody who's been successful, whether it's Bill Gates, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, Wayne Dyer. We could keep going on, but the point is, ask around if you don't know. Discover who knows it, where to find it, the internet, the libraries, bookstores, churches, congregation areas, anywhere where there's a group of people together about something, there's information. And success leaves clues. And with the two last ideas of the power of words and chasing a name, the power of words really, those words that were used, these 5 tools for massive success, led you here. And if you stay this long, you're somebody who wants massive success in real life. They're not just here for something free. They want the truth. They want the realities, the step-by-step things they must do, the little adjustments along the way toward achieving whatever your personal definition of success is. So one way that I've found that has been amazingly simple, but yet so startling in its potential, infinite in its potential, has been this concept of chasing the rabbit or chasing the name. If you had a portion in your journal that you wrote names down that you wanted to research, you kind of organized them, categorized them by whatever area was of interest to you, finances, health, relationships, spirituality, whatever it is. Every time you heard a name, you wrote it down and knew that there'd be some time that you'll use that in the future. And you may go right home and start researching through the names to get an overview, or you might wait until that comes back up. The point of it is, it's important to chase the name. The journey there that it will take you on is amazing. The opportunities that come up along the way, the possibilities, and all the other names that it opens you up to. If you chase somebody in the baking industry, let's say you have that name. You get there, you'll find somebody who he's around or she's around. More names. Chase those more names. If you're really wanting success, this is a huge but overlooked tool. Simple yet very effective. Easy and it's free. I'm a firm believer in the powerful things in life should be free. Air, water, gravity, tools, words, ideas. Sadly, so many people want to sell you on something, trick you into baiting and switching. You go there with one expectation. They say, surprise, this isn't anything like you expected. You've just wasted your time. Hopefully you haven't done that in this. Hopefully you've hung in here considering these possibilities. I put these bullet points up to just give you a head start, to kind of get your mind thinking along the lines of that mindset. And as a free bonus, I want to keep sending you powerful tools that I find along the way. In my own journey of success, there's so many opportunities that open up to you as you keep sticking to the path of success. I plan on sending you some forwarding emails. They'll be coming to you in the next few days. Look for them, wait for them, be hungry for them. Let your curiosity wonder, what new gem are you going to find? If you've stuck by this long, clearly this is the way you're wanting to go. I don't believe in sugarcoating something bigger than it actually is. These things I've used in my life every single day, and I've seen massive success come out of them. So I want to thank you for your time and appreciate you giving me the opportunity to share my time with you. Until then, talk to you later.